Hi, welcome to episode 2 of the Gene-Gnome podcast about CRISPR and genetic engineering. Today, I will be talking a little bit about some questions that were asked on the Instagram account and some of the social and economic benefits of CRISPR, as well as some action that you can do to help. So, one question that some people were asking about CRISPR was what exactly is CRISPR? What exactly is genetic engineering? And I just wanted to go back over it to make sure it was a little bit more clear. So, genetic engineering is editing the genome of a living organism, so that could be a human or a plant or an animal, and editing the genome to remove some undesired traits or to give the patient some desired traits. Now, CRISPR is a genetic engineering technology that allows scientists to go into the genome of a human or a plant, pinpoint a certain strand of DNA in their genome, cut it out, remove it, and then either keep it removed or replace it with a more desired strand of DNA. Allowing CRISPR has a lot of social and economic benefits. So some of the social benefits, like I talked about in the last episode, is that it can help save countless lives and help prevent a lot of human suffering. Another reason that it's really good socially is a lot of scientists have the value that technology should be used to help the most people possible, save the most lives possible, and CRISPR will help scientists do just that. CRISPR also has a lot of economic benefits, and one main benefit is that it will help improve the medical and medicine industries and the genetic engineering industries and allow for a lot more job openings because there's this whole new technology that lots of people can use, and it has many uses, like I've said. Like, it can help treat cancer, it can help remove bad genes from people's genomes, it can help produce new drugs by modeling certain human cells and genes, and this will just overall help improve the entire GDP and the entire employment of the medical industry, and that will also help improve the employment rate in the United States. Now, here are some answers to some questions that I was asked on the Instagram page. So, one question that was asked by a listener was, have people tried to make designer babies before? And if so, what happened? Did they get in trouble for it? The short answer is no, people have not tried to make designer babies without the main purpose of the genetic engineering being the health purposes of the baby. Now, like I said in the last episode, in China, a scientist modified two baby twins to make them resistant to HIV so that their father could have children, but that wasn't really a designer baby, that was more to help them so that they did not contract HIV. And he was punished for this. He did go to jail for 3 years. After he did this genetic engineering, many countries and the World Health Organization put their foot down and said no more genetic engineering until we can kind of consider the safety and ethical concerns of genetic engineering. Another question I was asked on the Instagram page is, why is there so much controversy over CRISPR, and why are a lot of people cautious of its safety? Right now, there's a lot of controversy because the ethical concerns of it are still being considered. People don't know what types of limitations for sure should be put on it, and they don't know whether or not it should be allowed at all. And because it's only been tried once on humans, scientists are still trying to figure out all of the different safety concerns of CRISPR to see whether or not it's safe and to make sure that it's not going to have a terrible negative effect on anybody that uses it. Now, after you've listened to all of my information about CRISPR and genetic engineering, you're probably wondering, what can you do to help? So one main thing you can do to help is just to educate people, I guess, on what genetic engineering and CRISPR are. Like, when I first heard about genetic engineering, the first thought that comes to my mind are the genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, in plants and food that get used in restaurants, and they got a lot of bad news just recently because they're making people sick and they were just bad for the environment. So it would be helpful if you can kind of change your opinion on those things and make your thought process when you hear about human genetic engineering, at least, be good things. And as well, if you hear your friends talking or your family talking about genetic engineering and they're talking about it negatively and they're thinking of the genetic engineering of plants and the GMOs, you can talk about how genetic engineering of humans, as long as it's limited, is definitely not a bad thing. And you can just kind of make people associate positive things with genetic engineering of humans rather than negative things. And another thing you can do is I'll be posting a survey in my Instagram bio as well as the description of this video, and you can fill that out, and I'll be using some of the results from that to send an email to a Minnesota representative. I haven't decided whether or not that will be the Representative Dean Phillips for the House of Representatives or one of our senators, but I will be sending an email to them, including some of the information in that Google survey. So please fill out that Google survey so that I can get some people's opinions on CRISPR to share with the Minnesota representatives. And don't worry, your answers to the survey will be anonymous. Thanks for listening. If you found this podcast interesting and you want to learn more, or you want to interact a little bit more with me and some information about CRISPR and genetic engineering, you can go ahead and follow the @Gene-Gnome podcast on Instagram. And I will be posting some of the answers to the Google survey that I put out. And I also have a slot on there where you can ask some more questions about CRISPR, and I'll be answering some of those questions on my Instagram account. Thanks again for listening. I hope you fill out that survey and follow me on Instagram, and I hope to interact with you in the future.